Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Captain Logan Show. It's me, Captain Logan. I almost said Captain Logan a bunch of times. Right, for some reason.
Hello, everyone. Captain Logan.
Hello, everyone. Captain Logan. As always, joining me is my son Jason, who's going to chat moderate and co-host.
Always.
He's got a big segment he's going to do for us later. Thanks everybody for being here live. Thanks for watching after the fact. I haven't had a Captain Logan Show in a couple of weeks because we've been doing Spooky Mania. We're back to relative normality.
Spooky.
Now, and Jason, I like to say normality.
Normality?
The word that's become popular in the common parlance in the last several decades, going back to like the 60s or earlier, is normalcy. And I don't know what popularized normalcy, but at one time, that was not a word.
Yeah.
The word was normality,
Yeah.
and I still insist. I'm stubborn. I'm a stubborn English snob. I'm like, nah, normality was good enough.
Yeah.
For the whole of English language history up until the middle 20th century, when probably a president said normalcy in a speech somewhere. I've tried to look this up because I remember hearing a college professor talk about this, that like normalcy was popularized by a president. I'm not even sure which one. I don't know if it was Truman. I don't know if it was Eisenhower. I have no idea who it was. But that's probably what it was.
Yeah.
Anyway, the word is normality, folks. Thanks a lot for, again, joining us. Tonight, we're going to open after a real quick Patreon question, because I just put out a post for Patreon questions today, and we only got one, and it's not really a great first question, just because it's kind of a, hey, Cap, are you going to do this thing kind of question? Mm-hmm. So, like, I will answer that. If anybody has a really cool opening question, though, feel free to throw it in the comments.
Yeah.
And we will happily do an extra question right at the start of the show. So anybody right now, super chat or otherwise, just leave a cool question, and we'll for an opening the show question
With a question.
And then tonight's see, every time you do that, I wonder if anybody remembers it.
Yeah.
It's been 16 years. I wonder if anybody remembers that. Probably
Austin.
Yeah, Austin might remember that. And he's in the comments. Hi, Austin. And then our opening, our leading question tonight is, or leading topic. Pardon me, by the way, guys. I've been sneezing all day. And my head's kind of all over the place, so I'm gonna do my best to get through the show tonight. I should be all right. It's not allergies or anything. I have this stupid thing where when the temperature changes, if parts of my body get cold, I start sneezing. And today it's been like 37 times, just constant sneezing. This is driving me insane. Anyway, but we'll get through it. It'll be all right. We're gonna go through another Screen Rant list. Everybody loves these. Everybody loves the Screen Rant list, and we're gonna find out what Screen Rant. Are we applauding for Screen Rant? We're gonna find out what Screen Rant says are 8 superhero movies that you must be a genius to understand. This was sent to me by Robert Wild, and he thought it was so funny that he thought I needed to talk about it on camera.
By the way, this is like the worst topic.
This is one of the best, meaning worst topics I've ever seen one of these geeky comic news sites come up with. Because what are the other sites we've done with these? We've done 5 or 6 of these now. And
I don't
isn't
remember.
It usually Screen Rant, and then is it ever CBR is one of them?
CBR is one that I go to a lot.
And then there might even be a third one.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
But Screen Rant and CBR are like exactly the same website. Like they even have the exact same UI, so it's like
Austin says it's Bush that said it. No, it's not. It was well before Bush. The normalcy thing. But anyway, Jason, years ago when I started, back in the day, back in the old days, when you had to walk uphill both ways to go to school.
Yeah.
I started Superhero Rewind partly because I thought it was an amusing notion to do literary analysis on such a commercial and usually formulaic genre.
Oh, so you did it like sarcastically?
To some degree, like there were serious reviews, but I thought it would be fun and amusing to take what I learned in college and apply that to a relatively frivolous kind of subgenre.
Wow.
That most people didn't think deeply about. I said, let's think deeply about something that we usually kind of just write off as silly, characters in tights punching each other. And like turn off your brain kind of fiction. And obviously I knew even at the time that some of those movies were elevated above that. And that's part of why I wanted to do it, was to encourage people to think more deeply about their entertainment, right? So there was somewhat of a serious motive behind it, but a lot of going to that was, A, it was a thing I knew pretty well.
Yeah.
And B, I just thought that was a funny idea. And you fast forward to now, and a lot of people overthink superhero movies. And obviously there are, and including myself, like, I will admit to taking these things a lot more seriously sometimes than I did back at that time. And as I got in the weeds with that project, I would do these written review projects that would sound like college thesis papers. And at that point, it wasn't always because it was funny. It was because I really was taking it that seriously, and I would find a lot that seemed interesting and meaningful to talk about. But the idea that any of them require genius level intelligence to understand is preposterous.
Yeah.
It's one of the most commercial genres there are. So, like, are some of them more thought-provoking and have more compelling social commentary and have more layered thematic ideas and ethical considerations and philosophical notions? Yes, absolutely, of course. But almost all of them, if they work at all, work on 1 or 2 levels. Right?
Yeah. So I have a question for you. Do you have any guesses?
Yes, and after we do the Patreon question, I will open with some guesses.
Okay.
I might be able to nail a lot of the list.
Yeah.
But we'll see what happens.
I don't know.
Although, have you looked at it yet?
No.
Oh, good. Okay, because a lot of the
This
time,
is the first one I have not looked at.
there will be at least 3 or 4 in a shorter list like this where you'll be like, what are you even smoking?
Yeah.
Like Electra will show up or something. Like I'm sure it
my
won't be
gosh.
that, but just something like that.
Yeah.
But there's kind of like the big pretentious ones, or pretentious, like that some people will call pretentious, or people will be pretentious about, right? Like I guess I'll just say right away, Dark Knight is on that list.
Yes.
Like, Watchmen is on that list.
Okay. Yeah.
But, like, Watchmen requires some intelligence and some understanding of history, certainly.
Yeah.
To understand, as a story, the original material. But the actual movie, the emphasis isn't really on that.
Yeah.
And I've come to appreciate that more recently as I've done another deep dive on it with the Superhero Rewind commentary project. And so, like, a lot of that stuff is still there, and there are certainly some characterization and some ideas that might go over people's heads. But, like, it's real cool and edgy, bro. So, I don't know, like, maybe the idea is to really understand the story versus, like, enjoying the thing. Like, maybe that's what they're getting at.
I want to know.
I guess I get that. But still, the bare bones of Watchmen, of the movie version,
Yeah.
I think even that I could say, you kind of gotta be an idiot not to understand it. Right?
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of more subtextual things. But just the overall idea, like, the overall story of Watchmen is there's a guy that thinks he can save the world by duping us all into peace by killing a bunch of people. Like, that's the story.
I wonder.
You'd have to be an idiot to not understand that story.
I wonder if they put Endgame on there just because time travel is complicated. Like, or some stupid thing like that.
No, I think Infinity War will be there because Thanos is such a layered, complex, and relatable villain.
Yeah.
That you'd have to be a genius to understand Thanos. Anyway,
relatable, and you have to be a genius to understand it.
Well, remember, a lot of these lists, the initial concept falls apart immediately.
You're right. Yeah.
So that's the thing That's the thing you have to keep in mind when you're trying to make the guesses.
Mm-hmm.
Is that you also have to play 4-dimensional chess with it and guess at what they will later decide the list is versus what it sounds like
forget
in
what
the
they're
title.
writing about.
Yeah.
Halfway through, and it's every time.
Or the AI does.
Yeah. Right.
I'm just kidding. Who knows? Slipmaker, what were those people smoking? Cigarettes? All right, let's get into the Patreon question for tonight. And again, if you guys have a cool idea for a question that I can answer before we get into all of that, feel free to throw it in. And as always, a super chat will guarantee that we talk about whatever you'd like us to talk about tonight within reason in the sphere of geekiness and pop culture. And if you don't want to do that or you can't do that, leave a regular question and aim it at Jason.
Yes.
With a Y.
Yes. At Jason.
Or at listens to too many albums.
Yeah.
Jason listens to a lot of albums.
I do. I only listened to one new album today.
Really?
Yeah. But I also listened to like 2 other albums today that I had already heard. So
he's, as your grandparents would say, been on a tear with his album listening.
I thought you were gonna say cultured.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead. What is that Patreon question?
This is from Slipmaker.
Oh, hi Slipmaker.
Do you have any plans?
We're talking to 2 people this evening.
Yes.
No Cinemographics there, Dana versus there. Hi guys, good to see you.
Do you have any plans to host another game show?
Oh, I'd love to.
Now, would it be a different one, or would it be Who's Smarter Than the Day Goes Together?
Well, we've done 2 in the last few years, and I would love to do that more regularly. There hasn't been like a ton of interest.
Or would you bring back Who Reviews the Reviewers ever?
Well, that's not really a game show.
Right.
It's game show-esque, but that's more kind of competitive reality. But yeah, I don't think I would ever do that again. Mm-hmm. Honestly, these days, I don't think there's enough interest in like video reviewing anymore.
Yeah.
Like obviously there are still review channels, but it's not what it used to be. And I think importantly, we don't have a lot of younger people watching us anymore. Like everybody's kind of grown up with us. Mm-hmm. So the video reviewing thing seemed to be a lot more enticing to people that were going to high school and college, that were like, this might be a thing that I could get into as a cool hobby or a potential career. And we definitely had at least 3 or 4 people that started on Reviews the Reviewers that either built pretty hefty channels or made it their career.
Yeah.
And the original winner of the first season of Who Reviews the Reviewers, that is his job now.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Isn't that cool? That's Mr. Fusion.
Yeah.
He's still doing it.
Wow.
And yeah.
Okay.
And like he's bigger. He's quite a bit bigger than us now.
Okay.
And he does these very like heavily edited. It is still the same stuff he always did, where he's talking about Power Rangers and Sentai and
it's funny.
Dragon Ball Z.
I've heard of that channel outside of.
Oh, you didn't know who he was?
No.
Yeah, he's a friend of mine.
I didn't know he was on the channel.
The original Who Reviews the Reviewers. I gave him $50.
Nice.
That was the prize. Because I was small potatoes and wasn't making money yet, and that's what I could afford to do. Mm-hmm. And then I upped the dollar value for the winner each year. I think the last prize we gave away was probably $400 or $500. I can't remember.
If we do, are you smarter than the day ghost again? Can I be a contestant?
That would be fun. Sure. Yeah,
I'll put in a submission.
Yeah, the reason we haven't done Are You Smarter Than the Day Ghost again is because I put feelers out for a second episode, and we didn't get any takers for contestants. Like, nobody was interested. Mm-hmm. And we had a lot of interest in it the first time around. So I was never sure if it was just bad timing or what exactly happened with it. I might come back and do it again. But I kind of enjoyed doing the Jeopardy one more.
Oh, yeah, Jeopardy. I was on that, too.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. And so I'd kind of like to bring that
I
back.
forgot about Jeopardy.
We had DJ and I forget who else. Was Austin on that one, too?
I'm not sure.
You were on that.
I was on it. Maybe John? Robert was on it.
Robert was on it.
Yeah.
That's what it was. Yeah. But anyway, yes, I would definitely like to do that again. And I'm sure there's like some third thing I can do. So I did a Star Trek club for 15 years. And we did numerous trivia games in the club based on game shows and lots of other things. And so it would be very easy for me to come up with lots of different formats for cool game shows if there was more interest in it, and do more kind of trivia heavy things. But the first thing would very likely just be Jeopardy again, because that was so much fun to put together.
Yeah.
Anyway, well, let's go ahead and look at this 8 superhero movies you have to be a genius to understand. Not even like to appreciate, to like, to understand. Like, I would almost get it if it's, you gotta be smarter than a 5th grader. Mm-hmm. Smarter than the average bear to not think this movie is boring. Mm-hmm. I could get that, and I've had that with a few superhero movies, where I think it's like real. I don't know, like character driven and fascinating, and I get real compelled by it. And then I'll come in and do a review, and then some of the comments will be, I don't know, I just thought that was kind of dull. Mm-hmm. And I'm not calling people dullards or whatever, but sometimes you come to these things more for the action, of course. And if they are too talky and they're too character-driven, sometimes the general the audience that they're aimed most at will not be as invested in them. And maybe that's less true than it used to be, just because we make... I don't know. At some point, some of these started becoming more real movies to general audiences that usually didn't like these kinds of things.
Yeah.
And it's weird. Like, in some ways, you got a lot more variety in the last 15 years. Mm-hmm. And in some ways, they've all felt the same.
Yeah.
You know? But yeah, we can try to guess at some more of them.
Austin says we need superhero movies that you have to be stupid to understand. I think you have to be smart to understand our superhero movie.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, yeah.
I think you just have to care too much about this genre.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think that has anything to do with being smart. I mean, yeah, maybe it requires a little bit of intelligence to get, like, some of what we're commenting on, but not genius by any stretch.
The
But I
plot
don't
is
think
insanely contrived, but
yeah, sure. And it's pretty complicated.
or not contrived, but complicated. Convoluted.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, what are some other movies that you expect to be on this list?
The Batman.
Yes. Well, it should be.
Yeah.
I bet
like that's the one.
You know what though? And I put that in the thumbnail because I think that should be in there.
Yeah.
If you're, I don't think hardly any superhero movie applies.
I feel like actually like that I think would be at the top of this list if I have to make this stupid list.
Yeah.
Logan.
Yep.
The Batman. I don't know, like
The Dark Knight. Winter
yeah.
Soldier.
Yeah, I was thinking Winter Soldier 2.
Possibly Iron Man 3.
The first one I thought of was Iron Man 1.
Just because I look at all the social commentary about terrorism.
Yeah. Captain America
Kind
Brave
of.
New World. Thunderbolts.
Austin says you have to be a genius to like Howard the Duck. You have to be something to like Howard the Duck.
I don't know if that's genius, but you have to be a duck. That's a duck, man.
But again, I still think it would be a stupid topic if it said like and not understand.
Yeah.
But I understand that more than understand.
I mean, hey, maybe you're just not a genius enough to understand Supergirl.
So Watchmen will be there. Well, we weren't even able to say that. What?
Yeah.
What?
I haven't seen that movie.
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't know why you said Supergirl, and my brain locked that in as Batgirl.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know why I thought you said that. Yes, you have to be a genius to understand the Omega Hedron.
Yeah.
Yes. Watchmen will be in there. V for Vendetta will be in there.
Okay.
I
feel like we said 8.
And that one is more fair. But the only thing I know about this list, just because when Robert sent it to me, I saw, the picture associated with the link.
Oh, yeah.
Was the animated version of Killing Joke.
Okay.
And I'm like, well, we're in trouble now. That's one of the worst of those ever made.
Yeah.
Okay. And all they're doing is going, that's heralded as a brilliant book.
Uh-huh.
So you gotta be a genius to understand the story. And,
great.
I'm not gonna say that movie, isn't, like, enough of that story. It's not real well, adapted. And the first half of it with the added Batgirl stuff is horrible. Like, really abysmal and cynical and hard to look at. But, like, yeah, that story is left more or less intact. So I guess if you think you have to be a genius to understand Killing Joke, maybe you have to be a genius to understand that movie. But that's still stupid. Mm-hmm. There's a difference between you got to be a genius to get it, and there's a lot of interesting narrative analysis you could do. Those are different things.
Mm-hmm. All right,
let's do it. Here we go. All right, 8 superhero movies. You gotta be a genius to understand. We're gonna read this whole thing down. Are you ready? I've already seen the first one. What the hell? No. Some superhero movies from Marvel, DC, and beyond offer concepts and narratives so complex that they left many viewers scratching their heads.
Wait.
Superhero movies are usually designed to entertain, fast-paced action, colorful costumes, and clear moral stakes. However, every so often a film in the genre tries to be something deeper, denser, or just plain stranger. Like, that's true, but why would you have to be a genius? Now, maybe I'm overstating the verb or the word choice. But...
Okay, I didn't get the title. See, this is the thing, is the title is completely different than the list. I think they're not getting that there's a difference between not understanding a story because you're dumb and
And
the writers
uneducated
being dumb and not understanding how a story works, so the story doesn't make any sense. It's not that I'm not a genius, it's that the story doesn't make sense. Like that's what they're saying. They're like,
yeah, because like, well, you have to be a
left
genius to
viewers
understand that
scratching
is
their heads.
just plain. Well, yes, but to be fair, if you watch something that requires some kind of a prerequisite to get, yeah, you're scratching your monkey cranium. Like, sure. These aren't the popcorn crowd pleasers of the MCU timeline or the DC EU movies. Or is it of the MCU timeline of the DC EU movies? Why don't you guys hire editors? There's a notion. Okay, so we have straight away said there's no MCU or DCEU on this list.
Okay.
Or unless they're saying it's not the popcorn crowd pleasers of those, but there are some that aren't those. So whatever, we'll see what's on here.
Okay, but name a smart DCEU movie.
I'm sorry, I'm stretching this hard. Well, yes, but they might think BVS.
Right.
They might think Man of Steel. They might think Wonder Woman. They're the ones that leave audiences reading plot summaries afterward. Whether they were trying to make profound philosophical points or simply collapsed under their own ambition, each one rewards or confounds repeat viewing.
Word choice?
That's a crappy sentence. You can't confound repeat viewing. Yes, you can reward or you can punish. You can't confound. If you watch that again, I will confound you.
Confound.
No, the structure of that would be, if you watch this again, you will be confounded, or it will confound you. You can't say, no, you can't say it or confounds repeat viewing. That's, okay, whatever. Anyway, moving right along. The first thing on their list, sorry, I'm really stretching for time here. The first thing on their list is Hellboy 2: The Golden Army.
So I haven't seen this.
You gotta be a genius to understand. Now, I like Hellboy 2 a lot. Okay. I think it's a decent story. I haven't watched it in a long time. I think it's as character-driven as you could ever expect one of those things to be. Did it like break my brain because it breaks new like philosophical ground? No. Del Toro's Hellboy 2: The Golden Army is a visual masterpiece. Yeah, this is a visual masterpiece. Like, you gotta be a genius to understand that.
You can't, they're just saying why it's good. Like,
you gotta know what a crumpet is to understand cricket. Narratively, it's an intricate maze. The film builds on the supernatural world of the first movie, expanding it into a fairy tale war between myth and modernity. However, Del Toro's storytelling ambitions are sometimes overwhelming. Now, I'm going to say this real quick. A couple things that he said there are things that you actually could have maybe seen me write in a Superhero Rewind, but in the context of you have to be a genius to get it, it immediately sounds pretentious and ridiculous. And then I don't know about storytelling ambitions or overwhelming. I mean, like, yeah, I guess if he'd had more space to tell his story, I don't know. Hellboy 2 dives deep into Celtic mythology. You gotta be a genius to understand Celtic mythology.
No!
What?
The next one.
Oh, wait! Okay, luckily, it hasn't shown up on their screen yet.
I love that we're seeing the next one before everyone else. Oh, man.
I'll just hurry up and finish reading Hellboy 2 here.
This is the best list ever.
Magical realms and interdimensional politics. Like, you gotta have a prerequisite. You have to have gotten a PhD in interdimensional politics, all while juggling multiple subplots involving Hellboy's identity crisis and Liz's pregnancy. Its beauty is undeniable. What does that have to do with intellect? The troll market, the elemental forest battle, and the design of the titular Golden Army all showcase Del Toro's unmatched imagination. Yet the narrative becomes so dense that it's easy to lose track of motivations or what the characters are actually fighting for. So you'd have to be Anyway, every scene feels important, yet few connect cleanly. So once again, this is one of those lists, Jason, that is not what the title reads.
Yeah, but I still don't know what it is.
No,
like,
I don't. I don't fully
I have no
understand
idea what they're saying.
To fully follow Hellboy 2, audiences practically need a degree in mythological symbolism and the patience to rewatch it multiple times just to piece everything together.
Okay.
Or maybe you shouldn't have been doing crossword puzzles while it was on in the background.
Okay, great, says a genius wrote this.
Okay, you guys ready for this? You guys ready for this? So remember, even though it kind of doesn't look like this list is really the thing that it purports to be, the last sentence in this was you practically need a degree. So they're still suggesting you need like some education and like you need some maybe critical thinking skills. You got to read a lot. So naturally, the next movie on the list of films you must be a genius to understand is Spawn! One of the worst superhero movies
ever made.
Ever made. I spent 2 years of my life turning almost into a friggin' crazy person for you guys' entertainment.
You just didn't have a degree in, like...
And this is basically saying that I'm stupid because this movie doesn't make any sense. So I think what it's kind of saying is that you kind of got to do too much of the work yourself.
Yeah.
And, like, piece stuff together and make up stuff. It's just a bad title for an article, is a lot of this. Yeah. Spawn! Spawn is one of those rare superhero films that feels like a fever dream. Its plot is deceptively simple. It's deceptively simple in that it takes, like, 100 issues of a comic that's way too convoluted and all over the place and, like, makes it into a formulaic movie, and so it actually makes more sense than the comics do. But that doesn't make it good. Its plot is deceptively simple. A murdered assassin makes a deal with the devil and returns as a hell-spawned anti-hero. However, the storytelling turns it into a surreal, disorienting experience. The film jumps from gothic horror to absurdist satire to religious allegory without warning. This leaves viewers unsure what tone they're watching at any given moment.
Has this person watched this movie? Like, it's not that deep. It's just bad.
He's not even saying it's deep. He's saying it... Why doesn't this just say 8 of the most convoluted superhero movies I've seen? Mm-hmm. Why doesn't it just say that? I wouldn't even agree with you on Hellboy 2, but, like,
you need to be a genius.
And, like, I don't remember losing track of character motivations with that movie, but, like, that still makes more sense than you have to be a genius. Okay, whatever. Director Mark A. DePay seems more, interested in the film's grotesque visuals than narrative clarity. I mean... That's true. Whole sequences unfold like nightmares filled with fire slime and CGI demons that defy logic. Because in Might Nightmares, there's all these CGI demons. The pacing is equally bizarre. If it's bizarre, you gotta be a genius to understand it. Spawn's journey from vengeance to redemption
this is the best video ever.
Happens almost by accident, with plot points disappearing as quickly as they arrive. Yep. That's that movie. The result feels like a movie stitched together from someone's hallucination of the comic. I actually like that point, that sentence. To understand Spawn is to surrender to its chaos and try to find meaning in madness.
Austin says it has tone issues. You have to be smart to get it.
Yeah. What he just wrote in that last sentence has been my entire career. Mm-hmm. Try to find meaning in its madness. Okay. Well, here comes the next one, folks. And I saw this already. Did I scroll down too far?
Yep.
And,
is it? I haven't seen it.
You haven't seen it? And you haven't seen this movie either.
No.
So I don't understand this.
Okay.
I don't understand any of this.
Okay.
But the next one is Superman Red Son. You gotta be a genius to understand Superman Red Son. Look, that adaptation is terrible. But it's still enough of that story that it's like, I mean, you don't even need to be a genius to understand Superman Red Son. Like, again, you probably, I don't know. I'm worrying too much about the word choice of genius, but like that's the like main concept of this. I mean that's the main idea with the concept, right?
You
It's
gotta
like,
stick to the title. I mean, that's the title. Like, you're clicking on that. You should.
yeah. So yeah, you need some history. You need to understand Russia and the Soviet Union, and you probably need to have read some Superman.
Yeah.
The animated adaptation of Superman Red Son asks a fascinating what if.
So does the comic.
What if Superman landed in the Soviet Union instead of Kansas? That's just Superman Red Son.
Yeah.
The premise alone is brilliant, but the film's execution is a labyrinth of ideological twists. No, son, it's a labyrinth of badness. Political betrayals and philosophical showdowns. Philosophical showdown? Okay.
You need to get.
Can I say something that's gonna sound really mean? Sorry, what were you gonna say?
You need to get on this website and start writing some, like, actually good articles.
No, I want to go on there and attempt to write like this because I think it'd be really fun.
Yeah.
No, can I say something that's gonna sound really mean? You have to be an idiot to think you have to be a genius.
Yeah.
To understand any of these movies. It reflects the actual tensions of the Cold War. Moreover, it challenges the notions of which character and by extension which nation could be considered good or evil. Almost every major DC character appears in some altered form, from a Russian Batman to... It's also just in the comic. To an American Lex Luthor...
Wait.
So, one of the weirdest things about Superman Red Son is the way is this massive departure. Like they didn't think anybody would necessarily go along with it. You know, like they took this huge risk by changing Lex Luthor from an American to an American. A Russian Batman to an American Lex Luthor to Wonder Woman as a reluctant peacekeeper.
Wait. Okay.
I mean, I realize that we reinvent Wonder Woman a lot, so she's been all kinds of different things, but that's not unprecedented.
Yeah.
But the most shocking thing, look, you have to be a genius to understand why you would make Lex Luthor an American.
Oh, man.
Robert put in a $2 super chat and says, this person didn't read the comics was my reaction. This person's not read a comic when they go American Lex Luthor. He must have meant to write, that has to be a typo.
Is Lex Luthor American in Red Son?
I think so, but what I'm saying is he must have meant to write, like, some other aspect of that Lex Luthor that's an odd departure.
Yeah.
Right? Like, why would you say that? Like, some altered
Was
form.
this written in, like, 5 minutes? Like,
look, even if I wrote this in 5 minutes, I wouldn't accidentally say American Lex Luthor in a sentence that says, appears in some altered form. American Lex Luthor. Let me get my gong real quick. I gotta remember to get this thing out. All right, here we go. Here comes the next one.
Okay.
Jason, we still have 5 more of these, man.
Oh, boy. Excited.
Well, Red Son moves so quickly through the history and so many ideological battles that it's hard to keep up. Audiences need to understand global politics, Cold War history, and multiple DC timelines to fully appreciate what's happening. Now, to be fair, that's probably true.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not about intellect. That's just about knowledge.
Yeah.
We're confusing intellect with knowledge.
Yeah.
By the time Superman and Luthor reach their final confrontation, that really out there, American Lex Luthor,
Yeah.
it's not clear who's right or who to root for. It also sucks. I mean, it's just really bad. Constantine from 2005. Okay. You got to be a genius to understand Constantine.
Oh, yeah.
That movie is not for everybody. Like, there's a lot of people that don't like it's a little... polarizing.
I really like
it's not
that
really
movie.
for everybody. But
I
here's a
understand
question.
it.
Well, let's get away from this genius premise
Yeah.
because more consistently, it looks like he's writing kind of more about knowledge. Although he's also going, if it's weird enough.
I feel like
At that point, you're saying you need to have more of an imagination, I guess. I don't know.
yeah.
But I was going to say, do you need to know very much about, like, Judeo-Christian mythology to understand or like Constantine? Because I kind of don't think you do. I think enough of it is kind of there. And also, what they're playing with in that is just the basic stuff that's already in the zeitgeist and in common understanding, right? Like, you don't have to have read the Bible at all to watch Constantine.
You're gonna have to read this.
You know there's a... Oh, I will in a second.
'Cause-
You know there is God and the devil and Jesus, and you probably know that typically the devil didn't have a son, but in this world he does. You know, all of that. All right, here we go. Constantine is one of the most underrated superhero movies ever made. I mean, I'm okay with that. Albeit mentally exhausting. Okay? Starring Christopher Reeves. Keanu Reeves.
I didn't see that.
Sorry, my eyes are blurred. Keanu Reeves as the cynical... You stared at a white screen this long.
Oh, yeah.
As the cynical exorcist John Constantine, the film turns DC's Hellblazer comic into a dense theological puzzle. Let's not get crazy here. It's not just demons and angels. It's about divine bureaucracy, metaphysical loopholes, and centuries of spiritual politics. Okay, so there's maybe a line here, but at some point, you're taking this stuff too seriously, and you're acting like it's smarter than it is.
Yeah.
And you're trying to fit a square peg into a round hole when you go, for this ridiculous premise I've come up with, I have to decide that these things are more intelligent than they are, or that they're deeper than they are, or even that they're weirder and harder to follow than they are. Constantine assumes I called that.
Yep.
You guys will see it in a second. Constantine is one of the... Oh, sorry, I read that. Constantine assumes viewers already know the rules of heaven and hell, then rewrites them anyway. Like I said before, it assumes we know the rules as far as everybody already knows them biblically. From exorcisms involving arcane Latin chants to the everybody's heard of an exorcism, to the mysterious motives of archangels like Gabriel, Constantine plays out like a noir detective story crossed with a graduate seminar on theology. No,
No, it doesn't.
no, it doesn't. If anything, it reads like Baby's First Exorcist. Like, viewers trying to make sense of its religious hierarchy are left juggling concepts like half-breeds. Oh my god, it's so hard to understand that concept. Wait, hold on. So it's...
Also, they explain it in the movie.
It's part one thing, and it's part something... Oh my god, my mind is blown.
But also, that's what the script is for. It's for, you getting it as you go along.
And we have an Eyes-In character in Angela.
Right.
Who admittedly is a Catholic who would be already familiar with some of these ideas. Still pretty well spelled out. And I've never heard... People that don't like this movie, the complaint is never, I don't know, I just couldn't follow it. I just didn't understand. Now, I have heard, I think Ebert complained that the mythology and the theology was kind of just wacky and didn't come together or whatever. But that's not a matter of you have to know too much. That's in his opinion, it's not coherent. That's a different thing. Now, I don't agree with it.
That's
but
what I was saying.
That's different though.
It seems like they don't know the difference between a story not being coherent and you just not understanding it.
Yeah. Half-breeds, soul contracts, and divine neutrality. Okay, so the idea is... it's divine because it's from heaven and hell, and then there's this place where those two things don't get to fight no more.
Mm-hmm.
Have I ever told you the story of the woman that walked in when I was working at GameStop years ago and didn't understand the Nintendo DS?
No.
Have I ever told you this story?
No.
This woman walks in and she goes, all this stuff is over my head. It's so complicated. And she goes, I want to buy my kid or my grandkid, probably a grandkid, a game system for Christmas. And I'm thinking about Nintendo DS, but like, why do they have to have these hard to follow, complicated names? Like, I don't understand DS. Like, what does that even mean? So I explained it to her. I said, well, it stands for dual screen, and there are two screens, and dual means two. She got, yeah, that's just too complicated. It's just over my head. Mm-hmm. It's just too. So I don't know if she was faced with half breed.
Yeah.
Her brain would probably.
I don't think
explode.
she'd be able to understand Spawn.
Even its visual symbolism, cigarettes, mirrors, and holy relics, carries hidden meanings. For those who love their superhero stories laced with dense spiritual subtext, Constantine is not really for you. Sorry, no, that's not what it says. Constantine is a rewardingly complex nightmare. Like, I think that's a fine movie. I don't think it's super complicated or anything.
Yeah.
Sorry, was there a comment you were going to read?
Okay, great. It says, Constantine walks around shooting demons with a cross shotgun. What does it all mean?
Well, he's doing that so that he can get to heaven.
Austin says, I thought Nintendo DS stood for Nintendo D Entertainment System.
Oh, the DS is a great system. I love the DS. Where are you knocking the DS, Austin?
Or maybe he just meant to put a D in front of it and he didn't. Dentertainment.
You know what he's doing? He's doing that Norm Macdonald joke.
Oh, dentification.
Identification.
Yeah.
The I stands for I, and the D stands for dentification. All right. This one, if you're going to do the stupid list, should be on this list. It's the only one so far that I agree with so far as I can begin to buy into the premise. And that is V for Vendetta. Sure.
I haven't seen it.
That is... That's a story that requires... That's nuanced and thought-provoking and requires a little bit of philosophical know-how. On the surface, V for Vendetta, but again, more knowledge probably than like intellect. But I do think to really get what something like that movie is getting at, and Watchmen too, but you know, again, maybe more the book than the movie, you would need some critical thinking skills. That becomes more about critical thinking than anything, I think. V for Vendetta is a straightforward story. It's straightforward, but you need to be a genius to understand it, of rebellion against tyranny, yet beneath its action, set pieces, and massed anarchy lies a web of political philosophy, allegory, and emotional manipulation. And honestly, that is true with that is a smart movie. It is one of the most intricate superhero adaptations ever filmed. Now, there is the question as to whether or not it's a superhero movie. Definitely for comic adaptation. Based on Alan Moore's graphic novel, it explores power, freedom, identity, and revenge. By the way, I wouldn't put two Alan Moore movies right next to each other. Why don't you spread it out a little bit? Yeah. Often through long philosophical speeches and layered symbolism. Every character in the film operates with hidden motives, from V's theatrical crusade to Evie's transformation from victim to revolutionary. V for Vendetta demands that viewers constantly question who's right and whether vengeance can ever lead to justice. Its narrative plays like a chess game full of twists and moral gray zones.
Okay, are they gonna do every, like... simile? Like...
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's like a web. It's like a chess game. It's like...
Just all the cliche similes and metaphors, yeah.
It's like a nightmare.
Between the dense political satire, historical parallels, and psychological depth, V for Vendetta feels like both a superhero epic and a political thesis. Understanding it requires as much focus as passion. I mean, I would say... like, writing a coherent thesis about it would necessitate that.
Yeah.
Understanding it, I don't know.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Watchmen is here. And probably should be if you're going to do this stupid list. But it's still more...
Stop with the similes!
Yeah. Let me see how much time we've got here. Oh, we still got about 10 minutes to get through this. Okay. Zack Snyder's Watchmen is a cinematic Rubik's Cube. Visually stunning, emotionally charged, and intellectually overstuffed. Also, these things always come in threes, you notice that?
Yeah.
Adapted from Alan Moore's groundbreaking graphic novel, it deconstructs the very idea of superheroes. It transforms costume vigilantes into symbols of moral decay and political manipulation. However, its non-linear narrative, alternate history, and sprawling cast of flawed characters make it incredibly demanding to follow. Watchmen jumps between decades, and I mean, that is true, weaving flashbacks, journal entries, and philosophical debates into a dystopian tapestry. But as I said when we did the commentary recently on that, Jason, it's supplemental material.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you really want to read that book first. It doesn't actually really stand on its own. Now, for people that are just there to see, like, the cool images and violence and stuff, like, they can get the basics of the plot and then just enjoy that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Each hero represents a different ideology. Rorschach's absolutism, Ozymandias' utilitarianism, Dr. Manhattan's detachment.
There's always three.
Well, I mean, that's okay. That, like, those would be kind of the three big, like, ideological characters that are pitted up against each other.
It's
but
just annoying because they're all written the same.
But you're bearing the lead here,
Mm-hmm.
which is that detachment is an ideology.
Oh, yeah.
Detachment?
That's my favorite.
I want to see this guy try to write a rewind.
Yeah.
That's what I want to see.
You should.
Because I feel like this guy is trying to do my job badly
You
right
should,
now.
read this like a written rewind. And
that's not
see
fair.
if
I
anyone
haven't
notices.
I haven't written one of those in 4 or 5 years, but, like,
Yeah, that's
crazy. The show I used to do.
Mm-hmm.
God, their conflicts are as ideological as they are physical. Yeah. The climax, which reframes the meaning of heroism itself, leaves viewers questioning everything they've just seen. I feel like we have a word count that we have to get to.
Yeah.
Watchmen isn't a movie people just watch. Put that on the box. Watchmen isn't a movie people just watch. It's one to analyze, decode, and debate. It's less a superhero film and more a test of whether audiences can handle the moral contradictions of being human. Again, more true of the book. Okay, so then, see what they say about Killing Joke. And again, let's put all the Alan Moore movies all next to each other.
That is the best first sentence.
Oh, here we go. Batman the Killing Joke isn't just hard to watch, it's hard to interpret. Yeah, but I can say that about a lot of bad movies.
Yeah.
And by interpret, I don't mean give a coherent story analysis. I mean actually understand what the hell's happening. And I don't need to be a genius. I need the movie to be rewritten.
Yeah.
The animated adaptation of Alan Moore's, again, why are we putting all the Alan Moore movies together? Infamous graphic novel blurs the line between reality, hallucination, and memory. They all come in threes. Mm-hmm. Is the Joker's tragic origin true or another life? Did Batman actually kill him at the end, or did they just share a grim laugh? And yeah, that's always been the ambiguity of the ending of that story. But
spoilers.
You don't have to be a genius to understand it. You just get to the end, and we get to guess at what it is, and then if you're intelligent enough to then have a read on what it means for the whole thing, cool, but you don't have to be a
Do they
genius.
really think most people just stare at the screen like...
Yes. I think that's exactly what they think. I think they think that most people that watch these superhero movies that are told that they're smart, and so... That the movies are smart, and so they must be smart.
Yeah.
Are also the same people that are watching Knuckles on Paramount Plus.
Yes.
The Killing Joke leaves everything open to interpretation, turning a familiar Batman story into an existential riddle. The first half of the movie, an original Batgirl storyline, adds another layer of ambiguity. It adds another layer of crap. It reframes the Joker's cruelty and Bruce Wayne's morality in ways that feel deliberately disjointed.
Deliberately disjointed.
That's another way of saying they were trying to fill time and they effed it up on purpose. Like, I don't... What? Oh, no! So, you guys, there's actually a movie on here I've not seen.
Okay, so here's the thing. I feel like...
I haven't done those yet.
I feel like they're just like, here are some comic storylines that you need to be a genius to understand. Not, here are some movies.
And then they got adapted, yeah. And I mean, to be fair, if they're close enough to the book, then they would also have that. Mm-hmm. That's fair. But the way it's worded, it's almost like the movie, itself, or as much as, I don't know. The result is both fascinating and maddening, a psychological maze. Can you stop it with the psychological mazes? Where nothing feels certain? Every frame seems to hide a clue. No, stop it. Stop it. Every exchange can be symbolic. And the ending remains one of the most debated moments of superhero cinema. No, it doesn't. It remains one of the most debated moments in comics. Because no one watches that movie. Mm-hmm. Most of us didn't like it. It's a movie that refused to give straight answers, and that's exactly why it endures. Crisis on an Infinite Earths! The 3-part animated movie series that probably, 50 people have seen. And I've not actually watched them yet, because I've heard nothing but terrible things. I've been thinking about doing a blind commentary on those.
Mm-hmm. Should I be on them?
I mean, if you want to. DC's multiverse 3-part epic Justice League Crisis on Infinite Earths is the ultimate test of comic book literacy. You gotta be a genius to have read comics. Adapted from the famously complex 1985 storyline. By complex, you just mean really convoluted. It throws dozens of heroes and realities into a comic collision that rewrites existence itself. The movie demands audiences keep track of countless versions of the same characters, multiple Superman, Batman, and Flashes. So this guy defines genius the same way Hollywood does, where it goes, well, everybody's stupid, so we have to start every single superhero movie series with an origin that holds your hand and makes you understand that, yes, this character has this one supernatural thing. Mm-hmm. You have to spend 2 hours on it because people just will not be able to follow that. That's how this guy talks. It also requires understanding the metaphysical mechanics of parallel worlds. For casual viewers, it's overwhelming. I mean, that's probably true, but I don't know about the metaphysical mechanics nonsense. One scene might feature a dying multiverse, the next a philosophical debate about fate and continuity. For longtime DC fans, though, it's pure brilliance. Not from what I've heard. Crisis on Infinite Earths is a cinematic love letter to decades of comic storytelling. The film's emotional beats land hardest when one understands its deep lore, but even then, its pacing and narrative emotional beats land hardest when one understands its... Wait, no, I'm sorry. It's I went back to the same line. It's hard to look at this for too long. Its pacing and narrative density can be exhausting. To fully grasp Crisis on Infinite Earths is to master the DC timeline, or admit defeat and just enjoy the cosmic chaos. Nah, I'm an idiot. I'll just watch this. Okay, you ready? Let's see what the next... I don't know what the next one is yet. You ready?
Wait, no, that's the end.
Oh, was that it? Was that all of them?
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. And then there's all the movies.
All right.
Okay. Okay, so we had Hellboy 2, Spawn, Red Sun, Constantine, which is just Spawn but better, V for Vendetta, Watchmen, Killing Joke, Crisis. So, 3 of the 8 are based on books written by the same guy. Mm-hmm. And 2 of them are big 80s DC events. And there's no Marvel here at all.
Yeah.
So what it's saying is Marvel stories are for babies.
Yeah.
That's what it's saying. Austin, what? The ending of the Killing Joke movie ruins the ending of the book. Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. It does. Yeah, it didn't even handle the ambiguity. I forgot about that. Austin, future film for the list, Brave and the Bold. How can you understand a different Batman in a movie that's not Pattinson? You'd have to be a genius.
Oh man.
Okay, we're going to take a break. I feel like I need a longer one than normal, but we'll just do
Spawn was still
we'll just do the normal one.
the best thing like that's happened in this show for a while.
Is they tell me I have to be a genius to understand the Spawn movie?
No, it's American Lex Luthor.
American Lex Luthor.
That's awesome.
Yeah, one of the strangest departures that we've ever done in a superhero movie is make Lex Luthor an American.
Yeah.
All right, everybody go take a real quick cold shower. We'll be back in 4 minutes, and Jason's going to do a longer segment for us today. So strap in for that. Then we'll do a little bit of Q&A if you guys want to talk about anything. And right at the end of the show, Jason and I are going to do another Q&A for each other segment. So we'll see you in just a few minutes. And we're back. It's time for the second half Tonight's Captain Logan show. Quick plug for Friday. Us and I are bringing back the Superhero Land Commentary Project with Iron Man. So join us at 10 o'clock Central Time that night. That should be a good time. And like I said a bit ago, we'll have a little bit of Q&A right at the end of the show, so if you want to throw in any super chats for that, that will guarantee that we talk about your topic. And right now, Jason is going to regale us with yet another Geekvolution Next Generation segment, and he's got a whopper for us today. Go ahead, Jason.
Yeah. So, yeah, my favorite Eminem line. I'm rich like Tony Stark, that's how much I earn, man.
Wow, I've never heard that line.
Yeah, that's from the album from last year. It's horrible. All right,
Jason, I tried to write "Ask Me Anything" and it started to turn into "Ask Men Anything."
Ask men.
Just men. Just ask men.
I mean, we're men.
Yeah, ostensibly, but yeah, ask men anything.
Yeah, all of them.
All of them. All right, you got
42. Okay. So my next generation segment this month. This month. I only got one. No, this week. Last month, I listened to a whopping 52 albums that I had never listened to before.
Well, it was the Jason's New 52.
Yeah, it was, yeah. And, I could tell you were sitting on that.
I wasn't, but...
Oh, okay. So...
You have to be a genius to understand them.
Right. I decided to rank all of them. So I have a, top 52 albums that I listened to last month.
That's
and
crazy.
Some of them I have talked about.
Okay.
From last month.
Well, when you say top 52, you really just mean this is the ranking of all
of them. Yeah, all of them.
Everything you listen to.
Yep.
Exciting. We get so much music now on the channel.
Yeah.
Thanks to Jason.
You're welcome. So I did a deep dive into 6 bands. And there are a couple other random albums thrown in there. So starting at 52, and I'll kind of blow past all these, but I won't explain all of them. But 52, I have Ween the Pod. That is their second album. And at 51, I have Ween Pure Guava. That is their third album.
So does this suggest you just don't like Ween that much? Because I thought you really liked Ween.
I don't like early Ween.
Okay.
And I didn't realize that.
You
and
put
then
them right
I
at the
listened
end.
to their first 3 albums.
So they get better.
Yeah. So, and then at 50, I have Godween Satan, which is their first album.
Oh, wow. So... all at the end.
Basically, there's this interview from the 80s where, or maybe not an interview, or it's like an article or something, for like a newspaper, and they're saying how Ween was like supposed to be like, just annoying music at the beginning, and so yeah, and also
I guess they pulled that off.
In '88, Ween actually opened for TMBG, and they got booed off the stage.
That's amazing.
By TMBG fans, and so it's like, yeah,
it's probably a more popular band than them now.
Yeah.
Can I ask you a question?
Mm-hmm.
Do you have to be a genius to understand those records?
Not the first 3. No.
Right, go ahead.
No. I feel a tick on my head, and it's sucking on my head. Yeah. You have to be a genius to understand those lyrics. At 49, I have the first Elf Power album, vainly clutching at phantom limbs. So, amazing band. Their first album sucks. Just because they didn't have a great sound at the beginning. At 48, I have Radiohead Hail to the Thief. This is my least favorite Radiohead album. It's from 2003.
How far in is that in their catalog?
It's the one right after Kid A and Amnesiac, so it's like 6th album, 7th album, something like that. 47, The Gerbils, Are You Sleepy? The Gerbils is an Elephant Six band.
Okay.
And then at 46, I have their other album, The Battle of Electricity. The only reason I have them that low is I can't tell you a single thing about either of those albums. They did not stick with me. And I listened to them again. I still can't.
So not as good as Apples in Stereo, or
No.
Okay.
But Elf Power, I think, is about on that level.
Okay.
So at 45, I have Elf Power in a Cave. And at 44, I have Elf Power's self-titled record. And those, we're getting into actually, like, pretty good albums now. Which is good, because, like, 45, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
43...
So you would recommend everything else that you're going to mention?
Yeah, pretty much. Although,
To some
this
degree.
one, I don't think I would recommend.
Maybe not to everybody?
Yeah. So, 43 is a new album, actually.
Oh, well.
That came out in October. This is Lovejoy's One Simple Trick, and I love Lovejoy.
Yeah, I know you do.
This was a disappointment. Like,
Uh-oh.
it's not great. And
Is that the group you told me hadn't made records before?
yeah,
Okay.
they started off as just EPs, and they finally made a debut album, and I'm like, this is just kind of nothing. I don't know.
Is there one good track on it?
Yeah, I mean, there
Okay.
are good tracks, but, like, as an album, it's kind of blah. 42, Neutral Milk Hotel on Avery Island. That is their first record. And I don't
We're
think
just putting a lot of words together here.
yeah. At 41, Elf Power, The Winter is Coming. A lot of people like that record. I don't like it as much as them. At 40, I have Radiohead, A Moon-Shaped Pool. That is their last album from 2016. At 39, I have Radiohead, The King of Limbs. That's their 2011 record. And then at 38, I have Ween La Cucaracha. A lot of people hate this record, and I actually liked it. But there are a couple kind of annoying songs on it. And then at 37, I have Ween Shinola. And that previous record that I said, that's their last record from 2007. Shinola is a B-sides record that has some really pretty tracks on it and some really annoying tracks on it. And then at 36, I have XTC Go 2. The only memorable thing about this record is the album cover. It has an amazing album cover. It's not a great album.
No.
At 35, I have XTC Drums and Wires, and that album has a really good first track, and then the rest of it doesn't hold up to the first track. At 34, I have Elf Power Back to the Web, which is a great album. At 33, I have Ween White Pepper, which is kind of their most standard rock album, I feel like. And then 32, Ween 12 Golden Country Greats. Yes, they made a whole country album.
Okay.
It's insane. 31, Elf Power When the Red King Comes. That's the second track. Second album from them.
So I didn't realize that so many of the albums that you listen to with this big list of albums were like whole catalogs.
Yeah, I basically did a deep dive into like 6 bands, and then there were a couple other ones.
Okay. Yeah, because you got some jazz in there too, right?
Yeah, but that's like all at the top.
Yeah.
And then at 30, I have XTC White Music. That's their first album.
Oh. I cannot penetrate that band.
Yeah.
Jason keeps trying to play me stuff, and I haven't found anything I liked yet.
Yeah. I'll try with one more track. And
Okay.
I'll see.
Okay.
At 29, I have Radiohead in Rainbows. Yes, I know that's low. I've only listened to it once. I need to listen to it again to really get. People love that album. 28. Okay, so the next 5 are all XTC. So Black Sea, and then above that is Oranges and Lemons, and then above that is Apple Venus Volume 1, and then above that is Wasp Star, and then above that is Big Express. And then this was a really weird one to put in here because I didn't know where it would go because it's completely different than the rest of the albums. This is 23. This is another new album. This is Smooth McGroove, Volume 8.
What number did you have that at?
23.
I haven't listened to that yet. I'm sure I've heard at least some of the tracks on it.
I think you've heard like half of it.
Yeah. I'm glad he's come back and he's doing some of that again.
I thought it had a little too much Deltarune and Undertale.
Well, especially since he did a whole Undertale album
I
years
feel like
ago,
he
right?
should have just done a volume 2 of the Undertale album.
Yeah.
Okay, and then
and he had like some Super Nintendo on that.
yeah,
I think.
and there's some good stuff. There's some really good stuff on there. He does a really good version of the Bowser theme from Mario 64.
Ooh, I gotta listen to that. I don't think or maybe I listened to part of it. But he just dropped the Mario World Ghost House, which
Yeah,
I
it's
think is
awesome.
one of the best things he's ever done.
Yeah, it's great. All right, and then at 22,
So what was that? You can try that again.
at 22, I have Elf Power Creatures. This is one of my favorite Elf Power albums, but it's really short, so. And then
Oh, Cinematography doesn't know what Smooth McGroove is. Explain Smooth McGroove for a
Smooth
second.
McGroove is a cappella video game music.
And he's had a popular YouTube channel for years.
Yeah.
He goes back, what, 12 or 13 years?
Yeah.
He's a 1 million subscriber channel.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've listened to him forever.
Yeah.
Or maybe even he goes back farther than that. He's known for his long beard and his cat,
Yeah.
who sadly passed away.
But he got a new one,
I'm sure.
and his new cat looks insane.
Oh, he doesn't look exactly like his last cat?
No.
I thought he would get like another black cat.
No,
that
it's
looks
got
just
like a
that cat.
stripe going down his
Oh,
face.
cool.
It's like,
Cool.
yeah. Where am I? 21.
You're in the bunker.
XTC. Whoa. Non-Such. This is their first 90s album.
None such.
Yeah.
Okay.
At 20, I have the Dukes of Stratosphere, Chips from the Chocolate Fireball, which is
The heck is
more
that?
XTC.
Oh, okay.
Um,
Again, we're just putting words together.
yeah. At 19, I have XTC Mummer, and at 18, I have XTC English Settlement. So I kind of just grouped all the XTC albums together because I don't know, they're all kind of in one group. I couldn't really spread them out.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And then at 17, I have a Testimonial Dinner, The Songs of XTC, which is the XTC tribute album.
Which you tried to play me some of.
Mm-hmm.
And I just wasn't liking their music.
Yeah,
Like,
I think it
some
was
of
just
those
more the
bands I
melodies.
like a lot, but yeah.
Okay. Now we're past all the XTC. At 16, I have Radiohead Pablo Honey. This is their first record.
No.
And it sounds completely different than anything else. It's the most, like, mainstream 90s alternative thing you've ever heard.
Ooh, I've listened to it.
And it's where Creep is from.
Oh, okay.
And
Yeah, because that really doesn't sound like
the
any
whole
of rest
album
of
sounds like...
what I've heard of from them. Yeah.
And then 15, Radiohead Kid A. That is just super experimental, really weird stuff. And at 14, I have Amnesiac, which is just more of that. And I talked about those on the channel recently.
Yeah.
At 13, I have my favorite Ween album. Not my favorite Ween album, but my favorite Ween album that I listened to last month. Because I'd already heard a couple albums before that. And that is Chocolate and Cheese. That's their first album.
So many records with chocolate and stuff.
Yeah. That's their first record that they actually...
Chocolate.
Like, that was, like, actually well produced, so...
Austin said you had to wean yourself off of early wean.
Yeah. Okay, at 12, I have a really weird one, and people are gonna think I'm insane for putting this over, like, all of XTC and, like, all of Ween. But, this is Sheldon Allman's Folk Songs for the 21st Century. This is from early 60s, I'm not sure.
Did you play me one of these?
I don't think I've
Oh, okay.
played you.
Okay, I thought there was something...
This is an insane album. It's like a folkish jazz record that is it's very like Weird Al-esque, and he's got like this super operatic voice, but he's singing about like the extinction of the human race and like post-apocalyptic worlds and stuff. And it just like the first track starts with like super like calm piano music, and then he goes, "Radioactive mama, hold me tight." I'm like, oh no, what is this? And it's awesome. And then at 11 and 10, I have Miles Davis Volume 1 and 2. And I think I played you those. Those are good. So I started going through some of the just Blue Notes discography, just because I was like, that's a good way to go through some jazz. So,
Yeah.
I started doing that.
Jason's taking a class on jazz history right now.
Yeah. And then at 9, I have Elf Power Walking with the Beggar Boys, which is a really good record. They go into more Southern rock influences, and it's awesome. And then at 8, I have Radiohead The Bends. That's their second album.
Oh, no, you don't want to get that.
Yeah. And then at 7, I have an album that you're going to be like, why is that so high? That is Neutral Milk Hotel in the Aeroplane Over the Sea.
Oh. What's that?
Two-Headed Boy.
Oh, did you play me some of that?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Just some really crazy psychedelic folk stuff.
That was interesting.
That has lyrics that make absolutely no sense that I think you'd have to be a genius to understand. But, I don't know. It's got some really good horn work, and yeah. And then at 6, I have Sonny Clark Trio, which is a jazz trio from the 60s. They do a really good version of one of my favorite jazz standards, Softly as in a Morning Sunrise.
Yeah.
And it's great.
But is it as good as the, what is it?
I don't think so.
What is
the
it?
Modern Jazz Quartet.
Modern Jazz Quartet, yeah.
I don't think so, because what's his name? It's not coming to me. But I love that vibraphonist. He's awesome.
Yeah.
At 5, I have Radiohead OK Computer.
Yep. That's kind of the big one everybody's heard.
Mm-hmm. It's great. And then at 4, I have Elf Power, A Dream and Sound.
Oh, wow.
It's so good. Like, I need to play you it.
Just with how much elf power you had earlier, I didn't expect one to get that high.
Yeah. And then at 3, I have Art Blakey and the Jazz Messengers, Moanin'. Okay. Really good track. That's a good track, but also a really good album.
Good album, yep.
And then at 2, I have the Dave Brubeck Quartet, Timeout.
Yeah.
And then at 1, I have...
That's what I've heard, yeah.
And then at 1, I have... Dude, that first track is insane.
I heard it all the time.
I'm like, what is happening?
Yeah.
And then at 1...
That's one of the most popular tracks, though.
Yeah. And then at 1, I have Miles Davis, Birth of the Cool.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for ranking all of those.
Yeah, it's a lot of albums.
I don't know how much of that our audience will have heard of.
Yeah. A lot of it is probably.
But there's some things to try out.
Yeah. Definitely listen to, like, A Dream and Sound, Elf Power, and Birth of the Cool.
And what kind of genres did you have in there? There was some
psychedelic
classic jazz, and then, yeah.
So, yeah, there's some cool jazz in there. There's some post-bop. And then there's psychedelic rock. There's...
alternative rock,
a cappella video game music. I don't even know how to describe Ween. Ween is every genre, basically. Good country,
but not primarily.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah. And then indie rock with Lovejoy, and Neutral Milk Hotel.
That's great. Well, thanks for putting that together.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a lot.
Yeah.
you gonna make it?
Yep.
I'm shocked you managed to do that in 23 minutes. That was really good.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Because I said your segment would go longer today. I don't think it was much longer than it usually is. That was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Way to go, man. You dropped your lid.
Yep.
You have to be a genius to find that lid.
Yeah.
Oh, there it is. All right. Let's get into some Ask Me Anything. So, folks, in the comments, if you're watching right now, we don't have a big crowd at the moment, but if you're still with us, throw in a question in regular comments if you don't want to put in a super chat. Otherwise, a super chat will guarantee that we talk about your topic. And we have one super chat right now.
Yeah.
And we'll see what other questions come up. Go ahead, Jason.
All right, this is from John Ty, the reader. This is $5. Before reading Superman Smashes the Klan, why was it hard to grasp the idea that Superman is an immigrant?
Thanks for the super chat. Well, I'm going to fight you on the premise a little bit because it isn't that I couldn't grasp the idea, and I don't know if it means like me not appreciating the Superman as an immigrant metaphor or just like people in general, because I think Chris also agreed with me that the immigrant idea is handled better there than anywhere else we've seen it. For me, it isn't that I didn't get that, and obviously the creators of Superman were immigrants themselves, and that was always in the chemical makeup of it. I just never thought that that was the most appealing and the most interesting idea about Superman. Yeah, it's there technically, but it never felt like that was exactly Clark Kent's experience. Like he is from another place, but he grows up, as I said last night, as an American, as a human, as an American, raised by American parents, in a lot of continuities, not even realizing that he's from somewhere else until he's a teenager or even a young adult. And so, he wouldn't. And there are versions that definitely have more of the outsider experience, but we do that in a lot more kind of modern stories. Earlier, it seems like Superman as an immigrant is almost a technicality until he's putting on the suit and people know him as an alien, right? And so the better kind of metaphor for the immigrant experience to me has always been Supergirl, because she remembers being on Krypton, and she's a teenager or a young adult when she gets here, and she has to figure out how to live amongst people that are foreign to her and how to assimilate, and she feels like an outcast from the word go. In Superman Smashes the Klan, he has much more of that outsider experience from the start, and it uses his grander power set as a metaphor for that. So, Jason, what that book does, and I don't want to rehash this too much because we talked about it last night, but what that book does is it's partly adapting from one of the radio play stories, and so it has the initial Superman power set where he's not flying yet and he's just jumping, but we find out that he's holding back a lot of his powers because he wants to be able to fit in, and so it amalgamizes both of those ideas, both of those power sets, and gets us from one to the other, like in a really cool organic way to make it part of that outsider immigrant experience. So at first he's just jumping and he's not using his heat vision. He's not using his cold breath. He doesn't even know he has X-ray vision. Like, he's holding himself back. He doesn't do any of that. And they actually make it part of his character arc that he embraces everything about himself. And so I just think that that's the most compelling the immigrant thing has been, at least for me. And especially in comparing it and contrasting it to actual immigrants that are going through the outsider experience. Because the other thing you have to remember about Clark is, yes, he's got superpowers. He comes to realize it at different points and different versions of it. But he's able to blend in a way that most people that come from a foreign country can't, where they're wearing their quote-unquote otherness on their sleeves. They have different features than a lot of other people around them. Clark doesn't have that. He looks like everybody else. And so that's why I just never felt like that was like a perfect metaphor for that experience. And why I think Supergirl works better for that.
Yeah. Is that a good book?
It is actually really good.
Nice.
And I would definitely recommend that you take a look at it.
Sure. When is that from?
2019. Pretty recent.
Cool.
Which is why we reviewed it on the new show last night.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
This is from...
Give me just a second. Sorry, guys. Thanks.
This is a pre-written from Nicholas Boda.
Hello, Nicholas Boda.
What are your thoughts on, and an idea of Alfred passing away in Batman Brave and the Bold, and do you think it's a good way to separate DCU Batman from the Batman?
I mean, I don't know if I'd want to kill him off at his first appearance.
Mm-hmm.
Seems like kind of an odd way to go about it. Wouldn't it be really funny if you opened a Batman movie with a funeral for an Alfred you never met? It's like everybody's familiar with Alfred. He just died before the movie started.
Yeah.
Contrast that to Dark Knight Returns, where he's like 95 years old in the future and he's still alive.
He's still alive. Yeah. Have we like ever killed off Alfred? Like...
Well, he's dead in the comics right now.
Oh, right. I forgot about that. Yeah.
Which might be partly why he's thinking about that. But
yeah.
No, I think I don't think you need to get rid of any major characters in Batman's supporting cast that might want to be in both versions. I think you just make the characterizations and the moods separate enough. Mm-hmm. And I think Gunn's sensibility is, and of course he's not going to be making that movie himself, but I think it was his idea to do Brave and the Bold in the first place, and I think his sensibilities just immediately lend themselves to a little bit more of a whimsical, less super grounded, maybe lighter kind of Batman.
Mm-hmm.
I just think it's going to be separated enough in attitude.
Yeah.
Not that I have a problem with killing off Alfred in one of either of those continuities. I mean, you could even do it in the Batman, I guess. Although he doesn't have a lot of people to talk to right now, so I wouldn't do it yet. But yeah, I wouldn't do it in his first movie. I don't think.
Yeah, I just want a live action adaptation of Death in the Family. That's all I want. But like an actually good one.
Nicholas Bodo, it's more so him dying naturally in his sleep rather than being murdered by me. I mean, just however you did it, that sounds like a manufactured way, like you said, just to. I mean, like if that was in the story they wanted to tell and it was interesting and compelling and I bought it, sure, I guess. But it would be a little bit odd to introduce that character. I guess the reason I resist it is we've had so many versions of these characters now that we tend to go, if you're already really familiar with them, we can kind of pretend like you've lived with them longer than you have.
Yeah.
And that's what I don't like about that.
Yeah, I agree.
I know I bring this example up all the time, but that's why we have we never talked about Uncle Ben's death in the MCU. It's like, oh, we've been there and done that. We don't even have to tell you that it happened. You'll just assume it.
Yeah.
I don't like that. You have to go blank slate to some degree. Now, I do think that it's a bit of a tightrope where if you've spent a ton of time on an aspect of it before, you don't necessarily have to linger on it. Like, I think it does make sense to some degree to keep in mind what people have seen a lot, to kind of let that inform it to some degree, but without losing, how do I want to put this, the integrity of the narrative, the integrity of the universe that you're creating.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't have to stand apart from that. So, Hulk to Incredible Hulk handled this pretty well, where it's like we did a whole origin in the first Hulk movie we made, and then when MCU did it, they just relegated the origin to the credits and they moved on. And it's like you could do a whole movie to tell that story. You don't have to have seen Hulk, and of course they're not related movies. Mm-hmm. But that is also nice for people that saw that movie and don't want to see that same story again.
Yeah. Yeah.
But they didn't just move on and never talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else?
I don't think I have any, thoughts about even what that movie would look like.
What movie?
Brave and the Bold.
Oh, yeah.
I have no idea.
Well, we know that that's supposed to be based on Morrison stuff more than anything, and that it's Damian Wayne. Yeah. So it's hard to imagine that it wouldn't include League of Assassins stuff.
Yeah.
Almost certainly.
Yeah.
And I think the risk that movie is going to run And we're probably going to be a broken record with DCU because Gunn's running it, and even with some of the movies that he's not making, I could see this being a potential issue, or at least a thing that people will resist a bit, is just too many characters in the movie.
Yeah.
Because I would like to see more Bat Family stuff in that movie, because we've never done very much of that in live action. Mm-hmm. So if you've got a Batman and a Damian, why not at least have a Batgirl or a Huntress or I don't know, probably not an Azrael, but something like that. Like there's all kinds of Bat Family characters.
Yeah.
It'd be nice to get, but I don't need all of them. You know what I mean? Like I don't need that to be a team movie, but it'd be nice to have appearances. You know, you put Nightwing in that movie. Like it'd be nice to have an appearance from 2 or 3 of them.
Yeah.
Even if it doesn't have to be like Superman, where we introduce a team of heroes and then they all come in and help at the end and they become part of a cohesive supporting cast.
Mm-hmm.
You could just have a couple of appearances from these characters that come in and help out for a minute.
Yeah. I need the Agent of the Bat TV show.
Oh, that'd be great.
So good.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, what else?
I don't have anything right now.
Okay, cool. Again, not a giant crowd tonight, so if we end early, no big deal. We can go ahead and go to our last segment, and then if anybody else wants to talk about anything, we can double back around and do a little bit more. Ask me anything.
Yeah.
Okay, it's time for questions for each other.
Yeah.
And,
you have to ask me anything.
Do you want to go first or second?
First.
Okay, go ahead.
Oh, me asking you first.
Oh,
yeah,
do you want me to ask you a question first? I can do that.
Yeah.
Do you want to answer first?
I want to answer first.
He wants to answer first. Okay. My question for you, Jason, I don't think I've asked you this before. We've done this enough times now. I am a little bit worried about accidentally repeating myself.
Sure.
But if you were to have grown up, or let me put it more this way, if you went back in time with the knowledge you have now, and you lived in the 80s or the 90s in the age, like at the age that you are right now.
Yeah.
What about present day would you most miss? Culturally, technologically, like what would be something that would be hard to live without if you went back and you lived life 30, 40 years ago?
So, I think, so, a lot of people are like, say, you know, the internet is a bad thing. And I think it's very much, for me, I don't like social media. Or, you know, I could live without social media. But having an entire encyclopedia of everything is really nice.
It'd be hard for you to not have that at your fingertips.
Yeah.
Yep. Because you use the internet as a tool to further your own intellectual pursuits.
Right. And if I have to actually go to the library.
You have to be a genius to do that.
Right. Yeah. So I think that would be my first answer.
But I think if you had grown up then, you would live in the library.
Yeah, probably.
Does anything else come to mind? Because that probably is the answer. And it's also sort of the obvious answer, but of course that is the answer for you.
And I'm thinking of more technological things than cultural things.
Okay.
Because I don't know how many cultural things I would miss.
Well, and a lot of your favorite things go back that far.
Right, that's the thing.
There are more recent things that you like, certainly.
Right. I think it's just easier to, I'm such a music person.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to say, it's harder to listen to music in the 80s and 90s, just because
you spend more money on it.
Yeah.
You listen to the radio a lot.
Right. At least the radio's better.
That's true.
That's the thing.
But you have to listen to ads in the middle of a lot of your music.
And
you're not used to doing that.
Right. And I'm very, it's weird growing up in this day and age because I'm used to listening to music, and I feel like a lot more people are used to listening to music listening to albums as a mainstream thing. Whereas because the radio just kind of sucks now, or at least isn't as entertaining as it used to be.
See, I don't think that's true. I think a lot of people now don't listen to albums and they just make playlists.
Yeah, that's fair too.
I mean, the album
That's true too.
has kind of died.
Yeah.
I mean, there are bands still making albums,
I
but
think for me, if I had
there's
grown
not
up,
money in that as a product anymore.
if I had grown up back then,
yeah,
I might not have listened to albums as much. I might have listened to the radio more. But I'm
well,
not sure.
Yeah, I think what's more likely is, it always depends on how much money you have in your pocket, what you want to spend it on.
Right.
But I think you do what most people did that got really into music, where you would hear a song on the radio you'd like, and then you'd go buy the album.
Yeah, yeah.
And then you'd have a collection of records, and you listen to them a lot.
And
But then the question is how much of your money would go to video games and would go
Right.
to owning films. And,
um,
like your interests could have changed. It could have been different than what they've turned out to be, partly by virtue of the way you consume media, which is interesting.
and with music, records were not a big thing in the 80s and 90s, and they kind of came back.
Well, yeah, that's
And
true.
so-
Yeah, vinyl.
And that
You'd have it on
vinyl,
CDs.
vinyl is like my preferred way to listen to music. I didn't think about video games, and I would go to the theater a lot more often.
Yeah, sure.
I'm
You
thinking
being such
geeky stuff.
You being such a physical media guy,
Yeah,
you would in some ways be real at home,
yeah,
but you'd also find yourself limited by expense, because there's a lot of things you can consume for free right now that you couldn't if you went back. So you would have to collect in order to listen to and watch things.
yeah,
Whereas now you can pick and choose the things you care to own
yeah. Also, with
and
the
still consume that
90s,
stuff.
there was a lot more of a trading card craze than there is now.
You think you would have gotten into that?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
And I mean, those are still huge. But I feel like in the 90s that was huge.
Well, they're huge.
At least at the
Like
end of
game
the 90s.
trading cards.
Yeah, game trading
When I was a kid, people collected cards that you didn't play with.
Right.
You had that too,
Right.
but a lot more by the time I was in junior high and high school.
Mm.
Like cards in the early '90s were like non-sports cards and sports cards. It was a lot more about just cards with pictures of characters on them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like you actually traded them just to have them, just to collect them.
Also, I would rather live in the 90s than the 80s.
Well, I agree with that.
I don't, just because there was more stuff as far as like video games go and stuff.
Yeah, for video games especially.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's more to do with home console at that point.
Right. And 90s arcades are awesome.
Yeah. True.
And I would go to the arcade more. Like, I feel like I would go out more.
I think you just have more things you'd want to spend money on.
Yeah.
Right. It's kind of interesting.
Well, it's because everything's digital
Yeah.
now. And it's like...
So, like, it's nice to have everything at your fingertips.
But it's also interesting because I feel like I would want to go outside more.
Yeah.
And like actually, like, go to the theater and go to the arcade and stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm not even one who likes staying inside. But
You feel like there's not as much to do
yeah,
now as there might have been then.
yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, those are my answers.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, really good responses.
Yeah.
All right, your turn.
Okay. This is more geeky.
I mean, that was relatively geeky.
Yeah, yeah. I think it just depends on who you ask.
You're gonna give me like a pinpointed Star Trek question or something, right?
No, no,
Okay.
I'm not.
All right.
What superhero properties would you like to see a 2099 version of?
Oh, weird. Well, we've done future lots of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, when you say 2099, specifically, like, if it's specifically 2099, I don't know, because we've done that with a lot of Marvel.
Yeah.
And I gotta be honest with you and say we did a whole big 2099 line. Well, I can't say big. I don't know if anybody bought it, because it's current Marvel. Nobody cares. But we did a 2099 line a pretty extensive one not too long ago, and I don't know what they did in it. I don't know if they did any characters they hadn't done before.
Yeah. Well, and I want to know what non-Marvel characters.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. Is when you get to, when you say 2099, in my brain we're just talking about like futuristic versions of characters.
Yes.
Well, obviously that's Batman Beyond.
Yes.
Like Batman Beyond basically is Spider-Man 2099.
Yes.
And we're dealing with a lot of the same kind of dystopian ideas and stuff between those two properties. I don't know where that crossover is. Like, now that Marvel and DC are playing ball together and doing crossovers, that's kind of the next thing they should do.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know where that is. And they're both
should
doing,
amalgamate.
and they're both doing things with. Oh yeah, that'd be great. And they're both doing things with those characters.
Mm-hmm.
Like right now. I don't know if 2099 at the moment we're doing anything with, because Peter David just passed and he was doing some stuff like a year ago. But Batman Beyond, I just got a crossover announced with Static Shock.
Okay, yeah. Yeah.
So that's happening. But anyway, so it's hard to answer your question because I'm trying to think of characters that we haven't kind of done
Right, I know that's a trope we've done.
that premise with. So I'm trying to think of a really cool sort of answer. Like, I wonder what the futuristic version of Clock King looks like.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like a digital Clock King.
Yeah.
Call him that, too. Call him Digital Clock King. He's like a digital clock.
Yeah, and he's
Like,
just like...
Digital Clock King.
He's got some numbers on him.
Yeah. So, like, I can think of, I guess, villains that would be fun to reimagine in the future.
Yeah.
We've never done I mean, we probably have somewhere, but we've never done, like, a big story with, like, a futuristic tick.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what a tick in the future would... If you did, like, Phantom 2040, but with the tick...
Yeah.
Something like that could maybe be fun.
Yeah.
Eagles Bodo, Green Arrow.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's not a character we really reimagined with Batman Beyond, I don't think. And we've done a Future Spawn, but I don't really know much about that.
Future Spawn.
Yeah, like a Cyber Spawn. He just looks unrecognizable. Like, he hardly looks like a Hellspawn.
Oh, man. Yeah.
But that's a fun idea.
Yeah.
The Clock King thing.
Yeah. This is completely unrelated.
Yeah.
But it makes me want to know, like... I want to see a story where it's, like, Calendar Man, like, leading up to the events of Y2K.
Oh, that's good, actually.
Where it's, like, is Calendar Man gonna die or not?
Yeah, or a Calendar Man that's, like, really worried about 2012.
Yeah.
Like, just like any period of time where we thought the world was about to end.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. Where is Calendar Man versus Clock King?
Where is that?
It's right there.
Mm-hmm.
That's a fun idea.
Yeah.
But I don't know. There's a couple of ideas.
Yeah. Calendar Man versus Clock King.
Versus Digital Clock King. Well, anyway, I think that's going to do it for us tonight. Thanks a lot for watching, everybody. I'll be back tomorrow night with Austin. We're doing a request on the recent Netflix miniseries that is, I think, a UK thing called Adolescence. So I got to go watch that. That's 4 episodes. We'll be talking about that tomorrow night. And then Friday... I don't know, Josh requested that. And then Friday, we're, like I said, doing Iron Man. So look forward to that. And in the meantime, we appreciate you guys.
Request.
Yeah, you should put it in.
I'm trying to think of, like, a good one.
Oh, you'll think of something. You've talked forever about doing that.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I haven't picked the right one. The right thing. Maybe a Godzilla movie.
But anyway, come back soon. Hang out with us. We appreciate you guys. In the meantime, I was Captain Logan. This was Jason. Bye, folks.
I wanna take you for a ride.